If you feel depressed or simply stressed out, you may have been told that meditation could be the key to helping relieve some of your symptoms. But how do we meditate? How do we get into that zone so that some of our trauma can start to dissolve? Well, actually, it's so much more than that. And my guest today, Marlise Karlin, is here to tell us about stillness and how we can move to that next level within ourselves. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
So you've done a lot of research over the years and created a special technique that takes meditation and so much more for people to finally conquer their stress, their depression, and their trauma.
Absolutely. It's called the Simplicity of Stillness, and for short, SOS method. And what it does is it releases stress and trauma, builds resilience, and inspires hope. And the biggest part of it all, it happens in 5 to 11 minutes.
I think it sounds like something that could be very significant because all of us have such busy lives and we're told that we need to meditate, but we just don't feel like we have the time to do it.
Well, I personally also had difficulty meditating. And what I realized is, look what the benefits meditation can offer you. But if you can't access that dynamic calm, what good is it? So a lot of people aren't really doing it, or they try and they give up. And what happens is, as you listen to this unique meditation technology, it's beautiful music and words, suddenly it occupies your mind and this amazing space opens that begins to give you all that potential and release of stress that you're looking for.
So share with me a little bit about your own story.
Well, I grew up in a very stressful environment. My father was an alcoholic. And so I got into anger and anxiety and depression and all the things that happen when you're around that kind of stressful environment. So I left home at 16 and I became determined to discover something beyond this. But what happened is I began getting sick. And I understood very quickly how there's a relationship between the thoughts in your mind and what happens with illness showing up in your life. And so it is that made me open to discovering holistic therapies. And that's how I began the whole journey of going deeper into then 25 years of study of holistic therapies and science to develop the methodology that I have.
So it's so much more than just meditation.
Yes, it is a unique new meditation technology. It is therapeutic tools, and it is teachings from the latest science and Eastern holistic traditions over the centuries. So it brings together all three, and you can do it literally in a 3-step process.
So how does it work?
How it works is, as you each day apply, activate, act. You apply a tool or the meditation technology, and you have choices because there are quite a few formats. You could choose one for 5 minutes, one for 11 minutes, and when you apply it, you're activating that beautiful energy flow that moves through the meridians of the energetic meridians of the body and begins to release where you carry cellular memory. And the meditation takes you into such a sweet place that you literally start releasing stress within 5 minutes' time.
So why is stillness so powerful?
Well, I've reframed the word stillness because mostly people don't understand it. It's another word like meditation. If you say stillness is somebody, they go, I'm out of here. I can't do that. I can't even hold still. What you're doing is accessing a dynamic calm that is the depth of stillness. And that's what you want. You want to access that dynamic calm. But how do you get there? That's what this technology is all about.
Can you describe a little bit more about what dynamic calm looks like or feels like?
Yes. You know, that's what's so surprising. Because since I've been doing, I did the research of this for 25 years, and now I have case studies for 15 years with people all over the world with all kind of stressful problems, relationships, illness, everything you can think of. And when you access this dynamic calm, it's like your whole body takes a big breath. You're someplace that's so sweet and beautiful, it just fills you with this amazing feeling. Now, why do I call it dynamic? Because you're accessing the potential that you have. And you know what? Usually when you think of meditation, you just think of, oh, I'm going to be still. No, you're dynamic, you have vitality, you have inspiration, you have ideas of how to propel yourself forward in whatever it is you're doing. So it's a different space than what we've usually thought of.
So let's talk about some modern day illnesses or issues that people have. Let's talk about, say, depression. How can it work with depression?
There have been people who've been clinically diagnosed with depression, who after practicing the method, literally 24 hours, already started to move out of it.
Wow.
That's a pretty big statement, but after 15 years, I'm seeing it again and again and again. There was a woman, I did a scientific study on people with ALS and their caregivers. One woman had fibromyalgia, and after 4 weeks, she woke up one morning after having fibromyalgia for 20 years and it was gone. And now it's been 2 years and she hasn't had it recur at all. So it's working through the cellular body. So that's why it shows it's different. Yes, it's a level of meditation, but it's also working through your cellular body.
I was reading in your book, you talk about a moment in your life where an energy entered your body. Can you expand upon that?
Well, it was at a time when I wanted to experience a freedom beyond all the pain that I'd lived in. And I had begun developing these processes. And suddenly one morning I woke up and everything I saw in front of me was everything I'd done in my life that I felt ashamed of. And that gave me that sensation of, I'll never be able to access that place that I want, that dynamic calm, because I couldn't be forgiven for all the crazy things I've done. And in that moment, it was just like this exquisite energetic vibration began to move through me. And it just began to eliminate and pull away from me a lot of those fears and the pain that I had been experiencing. And so it's not only the moment of the experience, it's what happens afterwards, because that catapulted into releasing years of bad habits and patterns and shifting my whole life.
So how do you believe that translates to the people that you're working with now with your SOS technique?
Because I developed the technology to be able to do that. And after 15 years, I see it again and again. People are diminishing stress in their lives very rapidly, and they're moving into a higher place of intention with their lives, with their purpose in life, with their careers, with what they want to do every day. And isn't that what we all want? And people are finding prosperity. And so if the methodology didn't make that happen, then it wouldn't be as profound as it is.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I'm saying? Because it's assisting you to access that space. So it isn't that it's the only game in town. I think we're fortunate to live at a time when there's a lot of extraordinary methods and things that are happening to help people understand. But what I'm here to say is, if you're doing a practice or have never done one and you're not accessing the benefits and the results that I'm speaking of, just add on the 5 to 11 minutes a day. Try this out, because you can do it anywhere.
So you talk about technology that is layered underneath music. What types of research do you have behind this?
Well, as I said, I studied a lot of science, and I worked with scientists, and I studied a lot of Eastern traditions. And what there is to understand is, in Eastern traditions, let's say acupuncture or the Jinshin Jitsu, which is from Japan, what happens is, like when you use a needle, you're creating an energy flow throughout the body. In Jinshin, when you use that, you're using hands-on techniques to become a jumper cable for the potential that's in the body to begin releasing stress. So all I'm doing is creating an activating button, because it's your potential. I'm not giving you anything you don't have. It's just that we don't have ways to access that level of potential because of the stress and the intergenerational trauma that exists in our bodies.
So inside our show, Mandala, we like to create a space for people to experience meditation. We talk about it, but we never hold that space for it. So would you like to share the SOS method with us right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so the simple instruction is, wherever you are, just close your eyes. Relax your body and begin breathing deep. As you listen to the music, just allow yourself to enjoy it. And if thoughts come in, just go back to the music. That's all there is to do. Let's begin.
Okay.
Find a comfortable position. Relax deeply. And close your eyes. There is nothing to do in this moment.
So, Marlise, what was that called?
This is one of the deep state stillness formats. So there are different formats. There's deep state, there's DNA harmonizing, there's sacred word, and there's elevate.
So, how does one decide which one is the right one for them?
You would look into what is your situation and what do you want today. So when you do a deep state, like you can experience, it already starts to calm you. It already starts to shift how you feel. So if you have a lot of troubles going through your mind, you want to do a deep state, because in 5 to 11 minutes, most people find they actually hit the button and play it again. But the good news is, you know, you can say, hello Siri, play this. So that's how easy it is to access. You could be in the middle of the day, and now you're just feeling a little bit low, like you need to boost your energy, then you would play an elevate session. You're about to go into an interview. You want to shift how you're feeling. So you play the elevate. By the time you do, your eyes are wide open, you're rocking, you're feeling good. So each one is different. And the DNA harmonizing, you can play in the background. So you could literally be working on your computer, play it in the background, and it just smooths out the day.
So I noticed in the music that it had a feeling that it kind of went down, like it had this, it just had an energy of an inward flow. Is that the music, or is that also the technology that's inside of it?
It's the technology, because every single one of the formats has a whole variety of different music, different words. It has a different feeling with it. So each one is different. And how I would compose these pieces is by listening to the right music that feels right to go with the technology and what is to be experienced in any given time.
Have you been able to do some research around the SOS method using the music that you've created and gotten some statistics and results on it?
The SOS method as a whole has been scientifically researched, and 96.5% of people experience calm, relaxation, or deep peace within 5 to 11 minutes.
Marlise, thank you so much. I really felt that with your music. Very powerful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.